thank you again for your time. We have here a commitment form to see if you can support some of the issues that we discussed about as the assembly member. Closing down the prisons, but the technical parole violation, the work release programs, the Rockefeller drug law repeal. And we're hoping that, the assembly member can support our platform priorities and hopefully sign it for us and maybe send it to us.
Yeah, let me give it to him when I give him this other packet.
Guys, how's it going? What are we doing today?
You already know, drop the rock. The Advocacy Day.
That's right.
We're here to get it eradicated. Not reform, eradicated.
Exactly, man. We're here to speak about downsizing prisons in New York, and decrease incarceration, our dependence on incarceration. We really need to change things in New York, right?
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely trying to shift where the budget is going. We're trying to shift it back to the community, stop this form of genocide which is going down, and bring a change step by step, day by day.
Right. Close empty prisons, close down empty prison beds, reform parole, increase work release, increase the number of parole acceptances. Introduce ourselves since we dropped the Rock Coalition. We've been coming here for years to push for the repeal of the Rockefeller drug laws. And with the reforms this year, we've expanded the campaign to really decrease New York State's dependence on incarceration, and New York State's been doing really great in terms of decreasing our prison population. And with the budget deficit, this is a huge opportunity to decrease the number of people in prison, but also to save a lot of money. So we have a few different suggestions in our platform, and I'll let some of the other folks, especially the young people, speak on it, because we were just talking about the different cuts that services have been getting, and they made a great point. So
like I said, the average cost to keep one bed in a jail cell is $55,000. That is a lot of money. That is more than mostly everybody's salary, even in here.
Almost as much as the senators.
And it's costing so much. Y'all wasting that money just to keep an empty space. That's like keeping a lot open, and you're not using it. So why don't y'all just put it towards more healthcare, more education? Like there's people who are sick who need it, like people who have like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are big health issues, health risks right now that's in this country that's causing a big problem. Rather than put more towards healthcare to help them get better when it comes to education. The schools in the Bronx and New York City probably are overcrowded. Mostly all of them are overcrowded. The only ones that's not overcrowded is the charter schools and stuff like that. So as long as y'all just do is turn them just do something, turn them to schools, public schools, and create more space. Y'all just leaving so much money just wasted. And y'all claim to have such a tight budget cut. Y'all saying, oh, we can't do this, we gotta cut this, we gotta do this. But y'all putting it all on some empty jail cells.
Well, he made a really good point. My high school, since education is being cut across the board, like we used to have 3 classes in my senior class. Now it's just 2, and they fired a few teachers. We need textbooks. Our tables, legs are literally falling off. We gotta prop them up with more textbooks. Lots of things. They're wasting money. I don't understand.
And the total amount that could be saved by closing down prisons, with there over 6,300 prison beds are empty, a total of over $340 million could be saved by closing down prisons. And now the governor has proposed making some closures to some minimum security prisons, and we think that's a great step. But as long as there are underutilized prisons, we're pretty much wasting money. And at this time, it does not look good for New York State to be literally spending money to where it's not being used. And they suggested there are multitudes of other services that we can support. But this is also more than the money. This is about people's lives. And Senator Perkins comes from Harlem, where I live, and it's also one of the 7 neighborhoods which has the highest number of people that are going upstate. I understand. I know that he understands the situation about the incarceration, the over-incarceration that we have in New York State and the United States in general. So we're here to really discuss about, other, in addition to closing prisons, there's also technical parole violations. And you were talking about that earlier. He was making a great point, so I'll let him take over.
Yeah, I was I was incarcerated, and I remember reading an article on a parole supervisor, retired parole supervisor, which put a statement that he was pushed to have quotas on parolees, like a certain amount of parolees had to get violated to keep the quota, and I guess he was pushed to do this. I guess he was supposed to do this because of the dramatic decline in the prison population to keep those beds occupied. So, besides the Rockefeller is a bigger picture because through the dramatic cuts of programs, transitional programs, a lot of brothers and sisters as well, coming back to the communities and unknowing what to do. Like, okay, I just did 15 years. Not knowing what to do, as opposed to with the transition, it's a slow blend. They can get a little light experience and stuff like that, and then transition back to their families, or work release where they get a little work experience, transition experience, and they still under the custody of the docs. So by them doing those cuts, it's like by them doing those cuts, it's traumatic to everybody. Now, we understand with the northern community, prisons are a great success to their economic system. So as opposed to just straight dramatically cutting them, we're saying like maybe they could reform those into schools, or maybe turn those into work release facilities, or maybe even drug rehab programs. So at least they still have staff, they're still doing something, but it's just not warehousing people.
And in terms of that, another addition to that, it costs $7,500 for work release programs versus $55,000 per person. So, these are evidence-based programs that have shown to be, as efficient, both in time and money, and they also reduce recidivism rates. So there's actually research behind work release programs that show that they actually work. And with the money saved, there are so many things we can do in terms of reinvesting in communities. And specifically, Ricky right there works in different programs. He can speak about that. James right here works in homeless programs and things like that. And I think that would be great, examples of where we could put the money.
Yeah, definitely. I see young men coming from prison, and they're getting younger and younger, and they're in the system, in the homeless shelter, and gotta be in by 10 o'clock, gotta sign for their bed, almost like they're coming into another jail. And I think what my brother said here was a key point. I've seen some men come out with 20, 30 years in jail, and they're in a shelter, and there's absolutely nothing for them to do.
The money has to go into the community-based organizations.
Exactly.
So that way when these gentlemen get out of jail, they can provide them with an education, with a skill, with a place to live. That way they can
Transition
back
back into the community. It's really a shame. I mean, Richest country.
Yeah, all the money they spend in the jail